What is going on, guys? It's your boy Player X here over at the Semi Limited Podcast. As you guys always do, tuning in every week for another installment of the pod. And I thank you guys for that, listening to the ramblings of a 30 something year old guy talk about a children's card game on a semi limited basis. So, with all that being said, we just wanted to thank you guys for listening and tuning in and supporting not only the podcast, but everything we do as far as the sponsored duelists that you guys are interacting with when they're out in tournaments and all of our social sites and whatnot, enjoying our memes and basically telling us how rad and awesome we are. We really do appreciate that and appreciate all the love you guys have been showing. Last year, we were the top podcast for 40 plus viewers for 2023. We can't thank you guys all enough for helping us branch out and do way more this year in 2024. But trust, we still got another 8 months left of the year, and we're going to make sure we chug straight through it. All right, no stops, no breaks on this. We're going to go straight through. But on today's episode, we're going to be joined by a first-time guest to the podcast. We're going to be taking his opinions and advice as we go over some of the better decks that you might see post-Legacy of Destruction dropping, which is the next core set. A few more reveals at the Rarity Collection 2 that Konami seemed to have slipped our way over the weekend. And then some more guesses as to what might be inside of it as well. And then we even have a legitimacy opinion because of an announced OCG product that we're going to get into a little bit later. But before all that, let's get into these plugins. Please go to the Linktree link down below in the description box to follow all of our social sites. You can click that link. It'll bring up a tab where all of our things on there, whether it's IG, Snapchat, for all the dirty birds out there looking for those dirty cards, those non-censored cards. Whatever it is, you can find it down there in that link tree. So go there and click subscribe, follow, whatever it is, notification bells. If they have a hammer there, go hit that shit too. We will continue to do more giveaways this year as we start to hit some of these accolades. We've already done one for Discord when we hit 100. So shout out to Rada for winning that free box of Phantom Nightmare. But we will also be doing more giveaways when we hit 50 followers on TikTok, 100 followers on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it these days, and then 200 followers on IG, YouTube, and Discord now. So now we just added Discord up there. So with those being said, I think we're closest to YouTube. I think we're at like 191, 192-ish there. So appreciate all you guys over there showing love over on the YouTube world. But when we guys hit 100 or 200 there, we will be doing another giveaway, either sponsored by our Unplugged Gaming, which is our sponsor, or maybe we'll do it ourselves with maybe some merchandise, some free cards. You never quite know with us. Just make sure you contact us. Let us know what you guys are more looking for, and we'll try to supply that. And speaking of our sponsor, be sure to go check their Discord server out. It's going to be in our description box below. They are in Manlius, New York. You can go check out all of their TCG communities in their Discord, whether it be Yu-Gi-Oh!, Lorcana, which I think is popping up right now. It's really, really getting big. That card market is kind of popping right now. Dragon Ball, it doesn't matter. If it's on a cardboard, they got it there. So be sure to be a part of their Discord server to communicate with a player near you. And then if you guys ever show up in the store for maybe a participation, maybe some trades, maybe you want to enter a tournament, doesn't really matter. Just let them know that the boys over at Semi Limited sent you, and they'll definitely be sure to hook you up. And our last announcement, also be sure to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the East Coast of the United States for those who are outside of it. His Twitch will be in our link below, so be sure to click on that. I think it's right above ours. It's Semi Perfect Gaming with 2 R's. Well, U and 2 R's. But you can catch him every Saturday night doing deck theory, crafting. Maybe he's on EDO Pro, might be on Master Duel. You never quite know with him. Just be sure to interact with his chat because we do converse after his live streams, and we do want to talk about things, and we'll have it ready for the Friday night wrap up. So you might just find yourself on an episode of the podcast as well. But with all that being said and out of the way, before we start digging into today's episode, I'd just like to introduce our guest who has been quietly sitting in the background for tonight's recording. This player is part of the Buffalo, New York community, and he's one of the great ones. I've actually had the opportunity to play against him a couple times in the Rochester events when we go out to Millennium Games. So shout out to Millennium Games and all the Buffalo players out there. But this is a very, very promising YouTuber, and his YouTube channel as well has also been growing. And by the hands of it, I can't wait to see what he has in store for the rest of the year as well. But please brace yourselves for the antics of Darth Nash 6.
What is up, all of my beautiful dudes and dudettes? Darth Nash 6 here on the Semi-Limited podcast. Here with my yerba mate. I'm drinking it. I'm sipping it, slurping, having a good old night. I am.
Sipping
Yeah,
that
see, you
scissor.
get it. You understand. You get the vibe. Yeah, just here to talk about the new set. I'm feeling good about it. I'm just excited to bring my opinions to the table here and see where we go with it.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Obviously, I love our interactions. We've, like I said, played together at a couple of these tournaments. Always good times. Whether he's in a winning position, I'm in a winning position, doesn't really matter. We're both out there, basically playing our hearts out and just making sure that we have a smile on our face at the end of the match. So I really do appreciate that. Would you like to allow our guests to know where you can be found, or any plugins, any shout outs, anything like that you want to give while you're
Yeah, so
basically.
YouTube Darth Nash 6, just like that. If you see me, there's gonna be probably like an animated picture of me sitting on a rock drinking some yerba mate. That's how you know. My YouTube, it's filled with a whole bunch of just dual terminal decks. Everybody knows that's my shtick. I try and play dual terminal decks in the modern meta, so we're going on like decks that are anywhere from 10 to 12 years old. I have taken stuff like Evil Swarm or X Sabers to YCSs. Most recently, to this last YCS that I went to in Indianapolis last year, I did take X Saber. This YCS, I'm planning on taking Laval's due to just the synergy that it has with the Snake Eyes engine. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm also found on TikTok and Instagram, Darth Nash 6, just like that. My Instagram really is just to kind of promote my YouTube, and my TikTok isn't necessarily just Star Wars stuff. It's usually just me being a Class A goober, a goofy little guy. You could even say a dubious little dude. And then Twitter is Darth Nash YGO. And I am pushing to get to 700 followers. That's what I had before my last Twitter got deleted for um, reasons that were outside of my control, apparently. So trying to get back up to that
Oh, okay.
700, and that's where you can all find me. Also in the various locals surrounding Buffalo, Rochester, and Toronto.
Oh, absolutely. Because I've never been out to a Buffalo locals yet, but I do know that you guys also are in the works of planning an Iron Man. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are working with it Toronto. If I am not mistaken, you guys got doing like a Toronto versus Buffalo 5v5
Um,
Iron Man, like you
if
guys
they
did with
are working
Rochester.
with it, I have not been invited to participate.
Oh, really? Get out of here! They gotta have you. You gotta anchor it
Yeah,
out.
like I'm getting.
They gotta
Okay,
have
of
the
the
road
whole Buffalo
warrior.
community, I am like in the minority of people who have not gotten a top 8 of a regional. So like there are significantly better
Mm.
players than me. Actually just today I uploaded a deck profile of a Dragon Link deck that two of our community members took to the Toronto regionals this last weekend, and they got second and 8th place with this Dragon Link deck.
Oh,
Yeah,
get the fuck
so
out of here! That's what's
listeners, if you want to
up.
check that out,
Was it Adam?
no, it was Devin, who's a newer player. He's only started playing a little over a year ago, and Ashton. Yeah, and
Get out
Ashton,
of
he's a
here.
transplant from New York City that we've got. He's out here for
Well, congratulations to both you guys going out there and doing the big ones. Would you say second
second
place and
and
what
8th
else?
place.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Both tops, both coming from Buffalo and New York. That's insane. Congratulations to both of you guys. I know it was a lot of work, especially the newer guys coming in here. They really do have to catch up and put so much work in to catch up to where the rest of us are, that it's always like heartwarming when you see them in the top cut, like making sure that that work is actually, you know, getting them somewhere and being
yeah,
utilized the
yeah.
right way.
What's really cool is our the second place guy. It's his second regional top ever. He actually won the Rochester regionals that happened back in September, and so we're all really excited that he got his
Oh,
second top in his first year of playing the game.
mhm. That's what's up, man. Especially to do it in like outside of your hometown too. Like to go out to someplace like Toronto and be like, all right, I'm gonna make Toronto my
Exactly.
bitch and get second place. Like that's crazy. That's what's up. I really do fuck with that. So congratulations to both of you guys if you're listening. But we'll definitely be sure to give you a shout out as well. But now that that's all out the way, let's start getting into the episode that we have off today. Starting with some of the other cards that Konami has stated will be in the next Rarity Collection. As most of you guys don't know, over the weekend we received word from Konami as they updated their system with the tab of the Rarity Collection 2 info, and it now references the following. These cards are all different from the first Rarity Collection. Just let that be known that that's first thing they said in bold print. Here's just a quick look at some of what you can find. Hard to find tournament powerhouses like Access Code and Magician's Soul, we knew about. Magician's Soul and Silent Swordsman, available for the first time in 8 years, we knew about. Also, coming off of their Silent support, Legacy support, and Legacy of Destruction booster set that they're going to be having, so good for them. The cards will be glistening and gleaming in your hands as we await for a more perfect seal for your victory. Tournament mainstays like Droll and Lockbird, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and plus Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill with Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, all with their alternative variant arts. So that's pretty cool. All arts. We have Interstellar Field spells like their competitive Visa Starfrost deck stories. Primitive Planet Arachnophobia, Primeval Planet Perlerino, Pressured Planet Rythoth, and then Peaceful Planet Calorium. So all of the planets that Visa Starfrost has visited, they're all going to be on there as well. We all knew about those. The biker version of IP Masquerano and the fierce version of Rescue Cat. So both of those alternative arts will be there, as well as Appaloosa and 7 other different rarities. Oh, sorry. They will be available in all 7 different rarities. You can fluff your Pearly deck up with My Friend Pearly and Pearly Pretty Memory. I think those ones are new. And then you can polish up your trap section with the trifecta of not only Solemn Judgment, not only Solemn Warning, but Solemn Strike as well. All 3 Solemns right there. Some of the new ones added on is collect new versions of popular spells that go all in on certain decks, like Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, Preparation of Rites, and Emergency Teleport. And then don't miss the one chime chant at the quarter century secret rare gold sarcophagus. So that's one of the newer ones they put in there, as well as DD Crow and cards you didn't expect like Cerebus the Ancient and Ascended, as well as dozens more. So with this list, we can see that we had the inclusion of Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, Preparations of Right, and E-Telly, and as well as the new quarter century, they're saying one-time chance to get it, gold sarcophagus. So what I'm going to assume is that they're putting it only in the QCR slot and only that one card, kind of like how Bonds of Magicians and Unity or whatever it is has been in the last core sets, but it's been in different background. I think the first one was yellow, the second one was red. Now we got a green one. So it seems like they're going to be throwing these in almost every product this year. But it's crazy to hear those last 4 inclusions. Do you think anything else will be leaked before they drop the entire set, Darth? Or do you think that there's going to just the next thing we hear is going to be the entire set drop?
Because it seems like they didn't really promote the fact that they had updated this list. It just like they quietly did it and people found out. So I genuinely do not believe that they're going to be doing a announced update. But this is the kind of situation where it's like, if we don't hear anything else until the official full set spoiler, I wouldn't be surprised. But if they did update it, just quietly, kind of like they did with the other one, I also would kind of be like, no, I get it. They're like, letting the player base sort of, sleuth it out themselves to have their own little Sherlock Holmes moments. But this is... like, they know that the player base is super excited about it, so this also could be some, like, 500 IQ marketing that they're doing, where they are silently updating the whole list because they know people are going to be freaking out about it online, which will garner even more interest and even more talking than as if they themselves had just did the full set release. Like, exactly what we're doing right now. Like, we are talking about it and people are listening because they just snuck that in. They just slipped it in through the cracks, and they're like, oh, did we? Oops. Uh-oh. Oh. Did an intern make a mistake? We don't know because we don't communicate.
That's very, very true. I wish the
oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
There. Even if it's just one person, like just designate one person. You know what I'm saying? That's not Billy Break. Just one person. He can just be the forefront. You know what I'm saying? We'll slew him. All of our press conference fucking post game questions and shit like that. He can tell us how he just like to thank God for everything that we've been doing for Konami
You
behind the
know,
scenes. You know that the
you know
bangless
who
is
I think would
upcoming
be a fantastic spokesperson? It's I can never remember his name and I feel so bad about it, but he is a newer commentator. He's the guy.
from
No,
the
no, no,
EU.
not from the EU. He's the TikToker
Ooh,
who became a commentator. He was like the Kaiba TikToker. He looks like he's got the long hair. He looks like the lead singer of AFI from back in 2008. Um yeah,
Thunder's
see,
murder.
see, yeah, exactly. I never
He gets.
yeah, I do not remember the guy's name, but he has commentated the last two live streams. His
Oh shit! Yes, I know what you're talking about. Really
yeah,
long
yeah.
black hair, super like informative. Yes, I do
Yeah,
know.
like his
I do know that.
commentary
Yes, I don't remember his name
his
either,
commentary of
but I
the
like him.
UDS was insane. It was easily some of the best commentary that we've gotten uh, outside of Konami EU ever. And if they just had him
Yeah,
as or them, him or them, I'm not 100% sure. Then like that would be amazing because the guy is so enthusiastic and informed, and just that combination is it's so engaging. It's so exciting. You're like, yeah, no, keep
yeah.
talking.
You just want to listen to every word he's
Exactly,
saying. Yes,
exactly.
yes. Mm. Just to kind of milk everything he's got to say out of it. Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely something we can definitely talk about. Maybe in a future episode, we'll bring it back on too. About maybe getting a new lineup. No, or not even a new lineup, but like what our dream lineup of commentators and I would say streamers and stuff like that to get involved in these YCS streams would be
Hmm.
and what they would look like. I think that would be a pretty cool topic for them. But do you think that there could be anything else lurking inside Rarity Collection that we may not be ready for? I know some people are in talks of saying that because we're going to be having Tempai Dragons, that some of the even effects stoppers, such as Threatening Roar or even the Battle Fader, the Swift Scarecrow, that those might actually see their way inside too because of the rarity or the meta switch that we're going to be seeing after it drops.
Okay, so the thing is, like, if they did, if they did put that stuff in, Battle Fader, Swift Scarecrow, Threatening Roar, I would be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not holding out hope for that kind of stuff. Because that would
That's
require
fair.
so much forward thinking on Konami's part because they knew they were going to do this months ago. And this was before even Tempai Dragon had been released in the OCG. They had already put into motion the gears for Rarity Collection 2. Um, Unfortunately, I
Mm-hmm.
think if you want to max rare, like bling out your deck with specifically like Threatening Roar, you're gonna have to go back to the Legendary Collection, Yugi World, Kaiba World, all that kind of stuff. For Battle Fader, you're gonna have to dig through for those old super rares. Swift Scarecrow, I think, only is in common, and it might just stay that way for a little bit.
I think it has an OTS Super, which is like ridiculously expensive now because it's the only
Yeah, yeah.
hollow printing of it. It's like 15
I
bucks or
do
some shit.
believe that we might see a reprint of Trident Dragaon, though. Like I
Ooh, you think they're gonna go ahead and? Oh, that's actually not bad. They did the same thing with Baron too. Just even though they gave it to collectors, where they
Yeah.
just said fuck it, give it to everyone and reprinted it in all. Savage
Because we've
Dragon, all
got
of
an
them caught that.
ultra, a
Yes.
secret, and an ulti. Um, I would. I feel like that's something that they could slip in their last minute and just be like, yeah, why not? Absolutely.
Yeah. By the
Yeah.
way, Trident Dragon's gonna be in there.
Wouldn't be
Senpai
surprised if we
Dragon players.
saw an access code in there, just because that's a card that people
Oh yeah, no, Access
access codes.
Code's
Oh yeah,
confirmed.
then
Yep,
we're
I
good.
think they confirmed that one. Yep, that one and
And then
Magician Souls.
all of the
Yep, were
Link to
confirmed.
Charmers. Like
Ooh,
that just feels
ooh,
like
okay.
something
Actually, I
that they
like
would
that.
do.
They do all have their core set starlights. I think that would be pretty cool to see if they were to give them all QCRs and these premium ultra or ultimate rares and premium collectors and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
like
That'd be pretty cool to see.
specifically Hida, Dark, and is it Lina? Light with the light one?
Yeah, Lina is
Yeah,
the
because
light one, Dark is the fire or dark one, Heat is the
like
fire.
those three have been seeing use on and off ever since their release. Occasionally, the Earth one, like Asa, had its time in the sun.
Mm-hmm. Also, and Wind have
Yeah,
their
yeah.
time in the
But
sun. Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that too, mainly to like pad out the rest of the set. Like if they're like missing, if they're missing slots, boom, that's six right there that they're ready to go, and
Mm-hmm.
that would cause collectors to want to go more into it. Like you're telling me that not only do I only need to get like the starlights of these, but they're also going to be in every single rarity because like charmer collectors, that's been like a niche in the collectors market since the beginning. Just getting all of the
Yeah,
charmer lore cards, and now all of the Link 2s get a rarity of every single type except Alti and Ghost. Like people would love that.
agree. I think that that would be something that resonates with not only the competitive players, because there's always the three C's. I always tell the people, my audience, that there's the competitive players, there's the casual players, you know what I'm saying, and then there's the
Mm-hmm.
collectors. And I think that that hits literally all three. The casuals are going to want to play it for their Dark Magician deck or whatever it is. They'll play
Mm-hmm.
the Dark Charmer. The collectors are going to want it because it's going to be another hollow, shiny version of the card. And then obviously the competitive players are going to want to play it when they go to their regionals, their
Exactly.
YCSs, and all these bigger tournaments and stuff like that. So yeah, as long as it hits all the three C's, the products usually tend to do good. But let me ask you this, Darth. Do you think that Rarity Collection 2 will do better as compared to the last one? Or do you think that it will flop comparatively? Because let's take note that although you're receiving less packs with a couple more cards in it, you are paying more per pack. I think it was $6 for per pack last time. You're paying $10, $10.99 if I'm not mistaken, as the MSRP per pack. So you're paying $10, almost $11 per pack. You are getting more cards in these packs, and you're guaranteed a QCR for that. But do you think that that will measure in on the amount of people ripping this product open who can afford it?
Honestly, no. I think the novelty of it has worn off. Like people were very excited with the first one because it had never been done before. But now people's opinion of honestly like this format has soured people's opinion of Konami so much that this like Hail Mary they've been doing with the Rarity Collection, it felt like their kind of publicity stunt to make people like them again. And then they were like, let's do Rarity Collection 2. And it's the joke, like, let's
Mm-hmm.
just do the same thing again, because that'll fix the public opinion of us. And then they're like, but we're just gonna make it more expensive. And it's like, no, you're missing the point. Yes, I'm guaranteed a QCR or like a 25th anniversary, whatever. But it's like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't This is going to be something. This is going to be a set that people will buy the singles of. This is the people who buy this set are going to be the whales and the uber casual people. Like the budget casual people. I don't really think that like everybody else, the whole rest of the community is just going to buy these on TCG Player. They're going to buy them from their LGSs. Even me, I have not opened
Yeah.
a single pack of Rarity Collection. I think it's cool. I like it, but like even to me, the first one didn't garner enough interest out of me to like go and buy a box. I was like, this is really cool. I don't care. Um, and so this second one, I'm like, oh, this one's even more expensive? Cool.
Don't
Yeah,
care
yeah, and
even more.
it's too expensive to even be given as an entry pack for a tournament.
Yeah.
So it's like I know there are a lot of stores that offered it as part of their entry pack, like Millennium for a bit. That
Mm-hmm.
was one of their two entry
Absolutely.
packs that they would
Yep.
give is an OTS pack and a Rarity Collection because they charge $10. So you get the two packs. But this one,
Correct.
this is a $10 pack, so no store is going to give this as an entry pack. And due to that, it's now even like too expensive. Yeah,
More
exactly.
niche.
So
Yeah.
even if like you win a tournament and get a select amount of packs, that one Rarity Collection 2 is two packs already. Like it would take the spot of two packs. So it's like, well, what do I want? Do I want 5 OTS packs or do I want two Rarity Collection packs with like store credit? That's
Yeah. And hope that my
Exactly,
QCRs don't.
exactly. No one's gonna care enough.
Yeah.
I think that this was a very poor move. This was something that somebody decided on paper, did not consult anybody about, and then they just pushed it forward. There was definitely a surprise, surprise. lack of communication. Whoa, what? Yeah,
No way.
crazy. That's how I feel. I feel like this isn't going to be a terrible flop because enough people are excited about just the concept of Rarity Collection and getting all these different rarities. But I do not see people going out en masse to buy boxes of this for the excitement of opening it like they did the first one. I feel like the people that you talk to are going to just be buying singles online of this.
Yeah. I feel like it'll definitely be at a point where, like you said, there's an intersection between can I afford to take this, like as prize support or whatever. Because I'm one of those guys where the same thing. We have a couple locals over here with shout outs to from the vault as well as our sponsors over at Unplug Gaming. But they also do multiple packs per entry because they charge so much or they just want people in the door or whatever. But this is something where it's going to be like, all right, cool, you're still paying $10, but sorry, we can only give you this one pack because we can't break our back end because we just want people to play a card game. You know what I'm saying? Like, for that, it's just there's no money in it, and I can understand that you would even have to spend your hard or earned cash on it, which is now more expensive. Or you'd have to get your store credit and get less of it as compared to other products, which might make it even less appealing to those, like you said, super casual people that be like, all right, well, yeah, I just got this $30 in credit, but what am I going to do with it? I guess I'll just get more for my buck and go get more of another pack than go spend it on this and pull the wrong thing. Because I did say to a buddy of mine that this Rarity Collection was going to come down to card choice, and it's going to come down to what I guess luck, because now that every card is going to be a guaranteed, like every pack is a guaranteed QCR, and every card is going to come in QCR. It's just a matter of which is going to be the most in demand QCR and how many of the
Yeah,
people
like
pull of it.
I'm interested in the Rescue Cat QCR, and like that's it. I don't care about anything else in the set. That's
Just made so yeah. Just give me that. That's $50 in my
yeah.
eyes. Just give me those.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
value
like
those.
that's I've got like the Turbo Pack Super Rare. Like I've got my playset of that. I've had them since the start of COVID. It was one of the first things I bought. With like the government checks. But like that's it. I don't really care about anything else
That
in the
Trump
set.
money
I'm like,
was
I
real.
just give me the little dude, the little snoot, just the little, little guy, the little critter, the little apex predator that I can have. Yeah.
Little cuckoo. That's it. But but honestly, like, yeah, it's just gonna come down to which one did you pull, and is it the one that's in demand? Because there's gonna be a whole bunch of shit ones. Because half of them are gonna be shit, half of them are gonna be worth something, and then of those something, only a few
Yeah.
fractions of them will be worth anything real. Like, look at the last Rarity Collection. There's QCR, everything else, but only recently have dimensional shifters. Oh, sorry, not dimensional shifters. Dimensional barriers been going up. Ash Blossom is like crazy high. Like you got to be pulling like a hand trap or something like super meta relevant. Imperms are almost at $100 right now. Like those QCRs are actually worth money. But if I turn around and pull like a QCR Mud Dragon, that shit's like 10-15 bucks right now.
I
It's
remember I
not
was looking at a
anything. Like
QCR of I forgot what it was, but I was just like, oh, that'd be like fun to just, own. And I was expecting it to be like $60-$70 because it was a QCR. And then I looked at it and it was $12 and I was like, do I even
he's like, do I like
do
that?
I
I
even want to
want
drop
that.
the 12? Like I've got secret rares of this. Do I want to get the QCR? Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
So it's like I don't know.
the one person though who's going to suffer for this is Rev's cards because this means like 100 new card QCRs he has to get for his collection series. That poor man.
That's actually true. Yeah, that poor
He thought it was
man.
going to be a year-long project, but Konami's like, "Yeah, it's our 25th anniversary for 3 years. We're milking this.
For eight
Yeah,
years straight, we're still on it, baby.
4 more years."
But moving on to our next topic, while we're speaking of product, it seems like the OCG has revealed that they'll be getting a new structure deck, but this one has actually just been recently structured before, so it kind of raises a little bit of flags of validity to me personally. But hey, I'm just here to bring you guys the news and nothing but the news. So from our sources over at Ready for Duel, it looks like he dropped a picture and it's official tagged and everything like that of the new structure deck called the Tactical Try, which is a Cyber Dragon themed structure deck and is set to release in the OCG June 8th, 2024, as per our sources at Ready for Duel. But they also included the list of what's going to be in the deck, and the list is what makes me really think that this is a hoax. So have you seen this yet before I go ahead and read it out?
I saw that there was like a Cyber Dragon deck. The fact that it's like its validity is being questioned, this is new to me. I didn't I also haven't like been able to look too much into the deck. I think somebody like shared it in one of my circles, but I'm a high school teacher, so I like don't really have time to sort of like, scroll,
Yeah, I see that.
and like I got home, I had stuff to do.
But it's weird because it's usually a structure deck will have one of each card in it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're just supposed to buy 3 structure decks in order to play the game. Like that's how you
Yeah.
get your play set. But this one seems to be really weird. So I'm going to read this down for some people who have not heard or seen. So this is the main deck list for this quote unquote structure deck. It's going to be coming with 3 copies of Cyber Dragon, 3 copies of Core, 2 copies of Hurt, 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Nextia, which I'm assuming is their version of Veer. 1 Cyber Dark Chimera, 1 Kaizen Kaiju Jizkeel, which I'm assuming is just the Jizukiru
Yeah.
Kaiju out there. 1 Sirion's King Regulus, which is Therion in the OCG, or sorry, TCG. So it's 1 Therion King Regulus. 2 Galactic Warriors, which is the Galaxy Soldiers that we have over in TCG. 1 Urana Hairayu. I don't know what the fuck that is, but you get 2 copies of that. And then Proliferating G, you get 2 copies of that. For Magic cards, you get 2 Power Bonds, 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Repair Plant, 1 Cyber Dark World, 1 Mechanical Replication? Yeah, Replication, 1 Mechanical Knight, Clockwork Knight. You have 1 3 Battle Issues, 1 3 Battle Talents, which I'm assuming is Triple Tactics Talents and Triple Tactics Thrust out there. Band Order, Thunderbolt, Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, and 2 Forbidden Droplet. And you also get 1 Red Reboot and then 1 Infinite Impermanence, which just makes no sense to me. And then the action decks that you get are 1 Cyber End Dragon, 1 Cyber Twin Dragon, 1 Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, 1 Rampage Dragon, 1 Nova, 1 Infinity, 1 Seeger, 1 Sento Hime Azalea, which I'm going to assume is their version of Sky Striker, and then 1 Salmon Great Almirage. So it's like, this just seems super, super off to me. Like, why are there 3 of us in a structure deck? If the whole deck is made to play like that, this isn't Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say I'm opposed to it. They should make structure decks like this, but it just makes no sense. Like, those are just a weird amount and array of cards to just be put into a
So
deck.
my theory on this is that this is something that Konami OCG is just trying out, because we need to think of this not as Konami Europe or Konami NA, like the TCG. This is OCG. I think this is something that they're trying out in the OCG to see how it works, just because the way that tournaments work in the OCG are so vastly different than the tournaments in the TCG. Most of our tournament reports that we get are from very highly structured locals. Regionals, YCSs really aren't that big of a thing as we think they are. Like as they are to us. Imagine that the OCG is just like a bunch of like OTS championships, and that's kind of what they do. And so this might be an attempt that they are trying to get more people to be involved with the game instead of like, oh, just buy 3 structure decks. This might be a follow-up to their 2-player starter kit that they did here in the TCG. That's like the 2-player starter kit is like, this is your introduction to Yu-Gi-Oh! This is your introduction to just the game at the most basic level possible. Because, like, so many people on Twitter were complaining about that set, but that set wasn't for us. That set was not for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player community. That set was for the friends of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player community or the people who have no connection with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. This is like the people walking in the aisles of Walmart, somebody who has not thought about Yu-Gi-Oh! Since they were in elementary school and they remember the anime playing on like WB Kids or something, and they see this and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I remember this show. Let me try this thing out and see what the game's like now." Like a good first step. This new product, I feel, is like a, hey, let me introduce you to like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. Like this is a great way. Buy one product. You can probably take this to one of these local tournaments. You can probably perform pretty well with it because Cyber Dragon, like, it's not the greatest deck. It hasn't been the greatest deck for a while, but Cyber Dragon's not a bad deck. It is just a very good generic going second deck. You can set up a good turn 1 board, but this is like, if you've got a friend who, like, there's a few people in the Buffalo community that exist just because their friends are very competitive players in the Buffalo community. They themselves would like to be competitive, but they're kind of like just dragged along by their ultra competitive friends. And I feel like this is the product to, if you are a very competitive player and you want somebody who is close to you to be able to get an understanding of the game at a certain level, this is a fantastic product to just give them. Like, hey, this is only 10, 15 bucks. Try it, bring it to a tournament. You won't do great, but like, you're gonna steal a few wins. I feel like this.
See, the only thing I feel like I disagree is with this list, I think you might do decent. I think you might do good. That's why I'm questioning it. It feels like this is an AI, like fucking Chat GPT, like deck list or structure deck. Like I just told, Chat, hey, make me a fucking Cyber Dragon structure deck, and this is the cards that the shit put together. Like, it just seems off to me, and I don't know why. But it's like the reliable source, unless this is a troll, and I'm being super trolled. This is what they put in here, and it looks official as fuck. But I don't know. I just feel I want to agree with you. Like, I do agree. Like, everything you just said about like the 2-player structure deck, and I was like, how it's literally made to be rendering a game that you would play, like, casually with your friends, and just to get you to understand the summoning mechanics and like get you hands on. But this seems a little too. Bro, they can't charge $10.
See, my thing.
That's where I'm getting
at.
My thing
is like how I said in the very beginning. This is an OCG product. This will never be seen in the TCG. We will never get this. I would be astounded.
I don't think ever
if we got this, because Konami TCG, like, this is just gonna sound mean. They're too greedy to do something like this. 100%. Konami OCG, they understand their player base very well, aside from the fact of the existence of Max C. But that's that's really one of the only like cons that they've got going on. But like, their rarity system that they do shows that they just want people to play the game, whereas the TCG wants to make money off of the game. The OCG, the player base is strong enough because they play the game and they keep playing the game, so they buy the product to keep playing the game, and that's how they run their business model. Is there is a player base that loves playing the game, so they make it so that more people can easily play the game, thus resulting in a bigger player base, thus resulting in like that base getting wider and wider, allowing for more product to be bought. Konami TCG just wants their product to be bought. And they are an abusive partner in a relationship where they will just keep on dangling this.
Yeah, they're toxic as
Exactly.
fuck.
We're never going to get something like this. They're going to find some way to split this up so that we are forced to buy 3 of it, or we're just never going to get it. Like that's why I think this is real, and the fact that this is an OCG product. Like, think of a few of the last structure decks, like the revamped structure deck. For instance, the Agents and the Dragoonity. We
Mm-hmm.
never got it. Those were spaced out into like ghosts from the past.
Yeah,
Exactly.
side sets.
Where we
Yeah,
are never going to get that dragon, that Cyber Dragon tactical tri deck. That's why I believe it's real, just because it is an OCG product, and it will stay an OCG
maybe.
product.
You know that I don't think it'll ever cross seas to the TCG. That might be a good way to say that. It's just like, yeah, this is a phenomenal OCG product, and it won't
Exactly.
go over here. But either way, I don't know. I still I don't know. I don't maybe whoever sent it to me, I'm calling bullshit. You better come cite your sources, motherfucker. But then moving on to our final topic today, because I don't want to take all of this gentleman's time. I just wanted to keep the audience as up to date as they can be on the ever so shifting meta. And with that being said, I kind of wanted to just name a few decks that you might keep your eye out for post Legacy Destruction, as they'll be doing some damage or rattling the chains of the meta. And it's you can just like I would say Spitfire a couple, but I definitely have a couple of it that we're going to be introduced into the Tempai Dragon, which I think is going to be, I don't think as impactful over in the OCG because they have more of a, I would say, stun-ish, more control-based meta game where we have more combo-based, very, very fast-paced. But that still think it will do something because it is a fast-paced game, and we'll see what happens being unaffected by card effects. Like Misk is at 1 for a reason, so maybe we'll see how this new deck works. I think that Snake Eyes will still be a relevant deck in whatever variants it wants to play. If it doesn't, if Konami doesn't ban OSS, I don't think that it will take any sort of hindrance in that department. It'll still be represented by all the players who have those cards and just want to keep that going. Voiceless Voice, I still think is going to be up there. Is probably one of the second best deck right now. Currently, I think it'll be third when Tempai's get introduced. But those are, I think those the top decks I think you're going to be worrying or at least planning out for. I think you should be keeping an eye out for the side decks that are getting support in Legacy Destruction, such as the what are the Melodious cards. I think those are going to be somewhat cards that people don't understand because there's a couple Pendulum cards, and no one wants to read Pendulums, including me, even though I somewhat like the deck. I think that those are going to be, I say, a deck that you should be at least aware of or know the choke points, what the interaction points are for it. I think even older decks like Branded and even Cashteer are still going to be around. Shifter is a hell of a card. It's still going to stop any format until it gets banned, or at least gets reduced to a ratio that's unplayable with the meta that it's trying to compete in. But yeah, Cashier is still strong within itself. It's still able to push for damage. It has the ability to go second in board break. It still has the ability to break boards with cards like Big Eye, as well as going in making a basically 4 material Zeus, as well as having utilizations to cracking boards with Fenrir and Unicorn, and using Ogre to check what you're using and what you're drawing into. So it can be up there. And Brandon, as you guys know, definitely can still be doing things. Even I think with the lock, which some players are kind of shifting off of, the gimmick puppet stuff that's coming out as an FTK, which I think you guys should know the choke points to, or at least be ready for whatever main deck hand traps you have, because you're gonna need something. These are just my suggestions for this meta coming up. Dart, do you have any of your
Yes,
own?
Ubel, with the new support that it's getting,
Oh
Ubel is
yes,
going
that's
to
a
be
good
a
one. Yeah, yeah, real
frightening
good.
rogue deck for a lot of people to like. You're gonna, because that is a deck that just mains super poly. Not only mains it, searches super poly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a new kind of like amalgamation, thanks to the Ubel support, that this deck can exist now, and I've just heard it being called Fiend Link. Um, Similar concept as Dragon Link, but it just does Fiend cards. It just churns through a whole bunch of different Fiend cards. It uses Yubel cards, DDD cards, like the Sacred Beast cards, not the Sacred Beasts themselves, but all their like the little
Yeah,
support
yeah.
cards.
The Dark Beckoning Beast or
Dark
whatever the
Summoning
hell it
Beast, Dark
is.
Beckoning Beast, all that stuff. Yeah, it just
Summoning
uses
Beast.
a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
bunch of different fiends, like dark fiends with 0 attack, 0 defense, and builds these insane link boards because of it. That's something that you need to keep on the horizon. Like keep your eye on the horizon for that. That's really about all of the talk that I've gotten. I know that a lot of people have been fearing about Lightsworn and like Lightsworn Tearlament.
Oh
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen a lot. I've only heard people talk about it. Whereas for Ubel and Fiend Link, I have been seeing like a lot of the testing and results of that. There's also is Rika this set like the
Oh,
Ragnarika?
Rika will be
Okay,
releasing. Yep,
yeah.
it's the planned shit. Yep, and I've seen some of
Okay,
that. That combo is actually
people
kind of
are
crazy.
very excited about like the tri-type stuff, and so I very strongly believe that people are going to be labbing this out. This gives potential for like the Sun Avalon deck, so you're gonna see, Jessica over in the EU, destroying
Mm.
people with this.
Sunseed Judge.
And then honestly, like B Trooper might make a comeback, or just like Insect Turbo decks.
Mm.
Crazily enough, this offers insane support to Insectors of all Legacy decks. So like definitely expect to see plant and insect decks very strongly take control of this, and there might be some rogue decks that are like, thanks to the existence of Rika, will exist now. And so like keep your eyes out for Ubel, Fiend, like Fiend dot deck, and Rika amalgamations. Because remember when Tri Brigade first came out, people were like, this is crazy, but we don't know how to use this. Because there wasn't enough stuff to like build around it.
Yeah.
Rika Ragnarika, that stuff exists, and that knowledge of 3 formats of Tri Brigade being a tier 1 deck is going to be easily applicable to this new Tri archetype. And I feel like the learning curve is definitely like gonna go way faster than it did with Tri Brigade, because I was like 9 months that people were like, well, I don't know what to do, and then someone was like, wait a minute, Zodiac. It's like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I say. Like
No,
Lightsworn, Ubel,
that's
and
facts.
Rika. Keep your eyes on those.
I think those are some solid picks. I think that those are definitely something you're gonna see at a local regional. Anyone going over to even something like
Mm-hmm.
Hartford, Connecticut, even this weekend should be uh, at least weary of a few of those decks, or at least be ready for those. But definitely post Legacy Destruction. That's gonna be really really good. Like, I forgot about how strong that Ubel deck is. I got a couple players on my locals right now playing Ubel, but just the support that they have right now and still doing fairly decent with it, or at least getting the ins and outs of the deck now, so that when that new support comes, it's just a very smooth transition in a matter of just slipping one card out and
Yeah,
putting another one
Ubel
in.
right now is already stealing regional tops, and Ubel is not good right now. And that support is insane. So,
Yeah.
like
What is that
exactly,
telling
yeah,
people? You know.
like it's gonna happen.
All right, guys. But with that being said, we are starting to run out of life points. Where's my little soundbar guy? Ah, so with that being said, guys, I just want to remind you guys of all the sponsored content above. We're just gonna brush over it real quick. Like I said, go down there, click that Linktree link down below. It'll bring you to all of our social sites where you can follow us. We're doing the giveaways at 50 TikTok followers, 100 on Twitter, 200 on Instagram, 200 on YouTube, and 200 on Discord. So be sure to be a part of those, and you'll be a part of the next giveaway. I think the next closest one is YouTube, so be sure to subscribe fast. Especially when this one drops, you can go right over to Darth Nash's YouTube, Darth Nash 6, and go subscribe over there and go follow his, like and share all of his videos, because he makes very very nice content, easily consumable
Thanks.
content. Also, shout outs to, oh, of course, buddy. Shout outs to our sponsors over at Unplugged Gaming in Manliness, New York for sponsoring the podcast. Be sure to join their Discord server as well in the description box below. Just scroll down a little farther and you can join all their TCG communities. You can be sure to be a part of the Yu-Gi-Oh one, the Pokemon, whatever it is. If it's on cardboard, they got it in store and they got it online for you guys. So be sure to check them out. And if you stop in store, be sure to tell them that the boys over at Semi Limited sent you, and they'll definitely be sure to hook you up because we fuck with Joe and all of them over at the staff, and they fuck with us. Also, lastly, be sure to catch Brad, once again, our guy, Mr. Perfect, live streaming on Twitch every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. His Twitch will be in our link down below. As you guys know, EDO Pro, Master Duel, he's usually crafting, deck building, playing with you guys, doing little odds and ends challenges, Pegasus challenge, whatever you guys want to do. Be sure to tell him and interact with him, because when I meet up with him and we do our Friday night wrap up, you might find yourself on a podcast as well. Also, just want to give a huge thank you to our guest for stopping by, taking time out of his day to come out and basically talk conspiracy theories and go over the Rarity Collection and basically pick his brain at a couple of the things that he might think are coming in the upcoming meta. So I appreciate you once again, Darth, for coming out here. Is there anything you want to say in final thoughts, any shout outs, anything like that you want to say about the your followers, any sponsors, like that?
So I don't really have any sponsors. I did have one sponsor, but I let them go due to an ethical disagreement. But I guess to shout out to the locals that I go to: Heart of the Game in Buffalo, Genesis Gaming in Eden, New York, Millennium Games in Rochester, and I've started to, when I've got the time, go out to 401 Games in Toronto, Ontario. Other shout outs just to some of my friends, King Scarlet, love the guy, Caleb.exe. He's been producing some amazing content. We've got, not to compete with the Semi-Limited podcast here, but the three of us have our own podcast, Riff and Shuffle. We're trying to be more regular. That is a fault on ours. We're gonna take ownership of that.
Oh no, I get that. Hey, consistency is key, especially when you got 3 guys in there, got 3 schedules to balance and stuff like that. But I guarantee you guys get in there, the chemistry is going to be electric. You guys will get right in there. I can already tell just from talking to you for the simple hour that it's going to be a great podcast series, because you've got such great animation, a really nice tone, and definitely engaging for sure. So I can wish. 100%. Wish nothing but the best for all 3
And
of you boys,
last of all, with the U-Bell support, that means that Steel Swarm starters are searchable. So catch me playing that sometime in the future. Peace.
That's right, guys. So be sure to go check him out. As once again, you can go down there and I'll have his handles already down there for you guys ready to click on and follow. But be sure to check him out on YouTube, Darth Nash 6, when you go to search him up. And with that being said, we are all out of a life points officially. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in for yet another installment of the Semi-Limited podcast. We'll be back next week with another fresh episode for you guys and more. I am Player X, and you have been listening to the Semi-Limited podcast. Thank you so very much, and good night.